Welcome back, Lavesa, and today I figured that we would do, well, what everyone else has been doing for the past couple weeks, which has been taking a look at the new detachments that we have in the new Tau Codex. Now, I'm sorry, I've been out for a bit. You know, school is how it is, and also I've recorded and taken videos and photos for other things that I wanted to get out there, and other scripts that I had completely written up and ready to go turned out to become obsolete with the new drop of the Codex. So it sets a guy back a little bit. It also is mildly demoralizing, but it's all good. We're back, we're here, and I'm going to cover the two new Mont'ka detachments that we have. And I know what you're thinking. Two new Mont'ka detachments? Whatever could he mean? There's only one new Mont'ka detachment, or one Mont'ka detachment. Yes, but I'm referring to the two most aggressive detachments that we have, the Mont'ka detachment and the Retaliation Cadre detachment. And now I know I covered Retaliation Cadre some time ago with new battlesuit updates and show-offs, but this time around, we're going to be checking them out a bit more in depth because we got the fullness of the rules, the enhancements that you can give, and the stratagems that you can spend. So let's dive right on into it. Now, to start off, we're just going to say that Farsight hit the absolute jackpot with this. First, the Mont'ka detachment. What does it do? Well, any of you who haven't heard just yet, for the first 3 battle rounds, weapons get the lethal hits ability. Pretty good, not too shabby. Seems very accurate for Mont'ka as far as the killing blow goes, like the lethal hitting. After that, there is the ability where when a unit is guided, they get the assault keyword. So if you notice, they have to be guided to get this. Not everyone in general, just guided units. So if you advance units up, you have to make sure that they're going to be able to be guided by other units in order to get the benefits of the assault ability. Because you can't advance everybody, and if certain units don't have weapons with assault, they won't be able to guide because they wouldn't be able to shoot. So that's something to look out for. But overall, you'll probably have guys hanging out in the back lines, and they'll be more than happy to guide for the guys jumping way ahead up front. So now from here, we've got enhancements. Now the first one is the Exemplar of the Mont'ka, which is very obvious. The Exemplar of the Mont'ka is, it gives you benefits of Mont'ka turn 4, just like the Exemplar of the Cayenne did the exact same thing, but it gave you the benefits of Cayenne early. This gives you the benefits of Mont'ka later. I don't really know when or why you'd be using this one, to be completely honest. Um, because as far as the Mont'ka push and punch feels, like in the closeness of your guys and how much advancing and moving around you'd be doing, I'd assume that your guys would either be dead, coming up close and personal to people, or like there wouldn't be that many people left around, so it just wouldn't necessarily be necessary. Anyways, just some thoughts, but still, it's good. It's good if you still have a decent threat hanging around come turn 4, but usually the game's pretty well put away by then. But I digress. Next is the Strike Swiftly enhancement, which gives 2 units a scout move of 6 inches before the start of the battle, which is wonderful, actually, because by the looks of it, you don't actually have to keep the same unit with the enhancement of Scouting 6. You can choose a new one every single game that you play if you're a tournament player. But, or like if you think that you're going to need to push up a certain flank, or there's certain units that have a need to either move out of the way if you put them a little exposed, or you could push them forward up to get more guns in range. Like, there's a lot you could do with this. In 2 different units, a 6-inch scout move, that's pretty dang good. You could even get Devilfish off the line with Breachers, so you could just try to hem some people back into their deployment zone all the more. So there's a lot that you could do with this. That's really cool because it gives mobility to things that naturally weren't movable. Let's say you even had a Storm Surge hiding behind a wall, and you're like, oh, well, I got first turn, so I'm going to poke this sucker out. So he moves 6 inches out to get a better line of sight on all the things that he could possibly see. Or, better yet, you could have him out in the open, and then he can move up even closer if you give him the 6-inch scout move, or he could pull back behind cover if you don't get first turn. So all really good things, really cool, and not to mention it's 2 units, so it's not just limited to 1, so it's pretty cool. I can't complain at all. That seems like a very good enhancement, especially for reorganizing yourself or getting the early jump on your opponent come turn 1. Then there is the enhancement of the Strategic Conqueror, and this one I think is going to be a must-take for everyone who has this in everyone who's taking Mont'ka as this detachment, because it says choose one objective marker and it will give all Tau units by it a +1 OC while the character that has this is alive, of course. But the fact of the matter is, like, you can have 0 OC things going and hanging out on that objective and having OC. So you could have hounds that have no OC running up and being like, oh, we have OC on this. It's +1 to OC. So you could say, like, and even if you have, like, breachers on it, that's 2 OC. Well, scratch that. That's 3 OC now per guy. So it'll really very much make it so that this objective that you have, you need to put minimal forces over there in order to hold it securely as your own, which is great. It's really cool. I don't see why you wouldn't take it. The catch is while this character is alive, so you'll probably want to put this on a guy who's holding back a little bit, not going to get too close up into the fray, not get sniped out, not get butchered in melee combat, and stuff like that. So if you put it like on Ethereal, who's parked on your home objective, oh, well, then again, if you're taking Mont'ka, you might want to go Farsight. But if you do, let's say hypothetically, on your home objective with a strike team, it wouldn't be too shabby. Be a pretty good camp there, hang out, be fairly durable, 5+ healing pain all around. Good stuff. After that, you got coordinated exploitation, whatever the heck that is. Seems like coordinate to engage. But when it pretty much boils down to when observing, the guided unit gets sustained hits against the spotted unit. So you have enhancement somebody, they observe for another unit, and the unit they observe for, they get lethal hits against the unit they're spotting against. Sustained hits against the unit they're spotting against. So it's giving a little nice dash of Cayenne out there, you know what I'm saying? So it's pretty cool, not too bad. If you need to put more firepower into something, more volume, I don't really see it getting taken too much, but it doesn't seem like a bad thing if you have something that you need to put more volume of shots out. Like, for example, we lost the cyclic ion blasters, and let's be real, that was like our best volume of fire shooting with decent AP and decent damage. So if you did this for like a missile pod unit, it would bump them up that extra notch potentially. So can't really complain about that. Anyways, so from here we'll move on to the stratagems. Now the first one is pinpoint counteroffensive, and for 1 CP you can re-roll against a unit that just destroyed your unit until the end of the game. So that's pretty dang cool. If you pop this every single turn, then you'd have what, like 5 things that you're re-rolling everything against? That's a lot of units. I would see this going very well against knights. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have big things that are going to be hard to deal with in general, and you just need to punch hits through. The lethal hits will come in great for this, and you also need to just be able to land hits on them in general because of just how big and tough they are. Like, if you got any opponents that got like big bricks or big expensive unit chunks that they're throwing your way, like I'm thinking Terminator bricks, I'm thinking like 8-bound, I'm thinking like even Primarchs, like you feed them some stupid little chaff that they kill inevitably and eat them up, and when they get rid of them, you just pop the CP, and for the rest of the game, you're just re-rolling everything against them, and that's awesome, that's wonderful. You might not even need to really guide as much against them either, or like focus like guiding stealth suits into them because they get the reroll ones, or even need Shadow Sun around units that are going to be taking on this thing. You could divert it to make them more effective against other units. So I would have to say that this is pretty dang good. You could get a lot of units out there, full rerolls for the rest of the game. Beautiful, beautiful, very good stuff. Aggressive mobility, it's 1 CP to auto advance 6. Pretty good, pretty good. Can't complain there. Instead of having to be like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to make this roll in order to get up close, then you just auto get it. Very Mont'ka, very, very killing blow, fast moving, getting up and personal. Then there is focused fire for 1 CP as well. 2 of your units target only 1 enemy unit, and they get +1 AP into it, which is great. I could totally see this working out with, if you don't think a breacher squad is going to be lethal enough into an opponent, you take 2 of them, you drop both of them on the objective nearby, like some, let's say, like, I don't know, a big brick, very tough and durable, like Custodes, and you give these guys a +1 AP into this huge brick. You're hitting on 3s, potentially re-rolling. We don't know. We'll see. Whatever you want to guide into it or not. So bare minimum hitting on 3s and then re-rolling all your wounds, and that's AP -2, which pushes them up to their 4 invuln, which, like, you get guys on a 50-50 roll that are that high durable and like that high value and expensive in points, you're going to be really punching some teeth out. So I could see this being very, very effective. And heck, this even helps with our, in general, just lack of AP, because we need more AP. We do not have enough AP. That's where we're going to get into the second Mont'ka detachment, why I like it so much and why I think it's great. So good stuff. Very good getting extra AP, both targeting the same enemy unit. So from here we get combat debarkation. which is after disembarking from a transport, when targeting closest to enemy unit, reroll wound rolls. And this goes for the Pathfinders, this goes for the strike teams, and this absolutely goes for the Breachers. This will be great because a lot of people will get close to objectives, but they just won't get within range of them early on in the game because you want to move your Breachers up to get on the objective. But if your opponent's on the objective, you get to reroll all the wounds, and your opponent will anticipate that and just hold back. Well, you can just move your Breacher Fish up and get them on the objective anyways, and then when they disembark, just spend the CP and they reroll all wounds anyways. Sure, it costs you a CP, but their damage effectiveness doesn't go down. It doesn't suffer from the inability to reroll all the wounds because you can just pop a CP and you're able to do it. So very good stuff here. After this, we get the Pulse Onslaught for 2 CP, which is after an infantry unit shot and hit an enemy monster or vehicle, subtract 2 from their movement and 2 from their advance and charge rolls, which is pretty dang debilitating because I'm just looking at this and I'm thinking, you could have a strike team 30 inches out, look at a monster or vehicle, because this is infantry. It's a 30-inch range guns. You pop that sucker, -2 from their normal movement, and if they decide to advance it, that's a -4 because I believe it says -2 from their advance rolls and charge rolls as well. So if they're -4 moving up, and if they try to make a charge or something, if they got an advance and charge ability, then they're -2 again. So that is 6 inches right there that they just do not get to move. And if you roll an advance roll and it's -2, well, I guess you'd be moving negative distance. Correct me if I'm wrong. I probably am, but like that's pretty funny. Moving negative distance, it's hilarious. Anyways, I digress. So this is pretty good. It seems very much infantry based, a lot of these stratagems. And then we're going to get down to the counterfire defense system. When one enemy unit is attacking one of your units, subtract one damage from that attack. It doesn't say to a minimum of 1, but I'm assuming that it's a minimum of 1 because let's be real, there's no way that you're going to have like flamers scorching into your Kroot or whatever, and you're going to be like, I don't have a save against this, and my stealth doesn't help, so I'm just going to spend this 2 CP, and you just do no damage against me. It'd be funny. I'm willing to bet this is a bit of a buff for your battle suits because most of the other things have been for your infantry models, because that's what I'm very much finding this Mont'ka detachment to be. It seems a bit more infantry focused. A lot of it involves infantry, getting out of transports, getting bonuses from getting out of transports, being able to auto-advance 6. Auto-advance 6 is something that the crisis suits already do. All your other battle suits are a bit more stay in place. So auto-advancing 6 would be for transports, to move farther, move faster, even your infantry. I would say, like the re-rolling against destroyed units, that is incentivizing you to have squishy units. Something that you can have chaff that'll be thrown out there, and just you have a guy who's going to just spray down the line and be like, you know what, we'll just clear out the chaff out the way with one of their big powerful units. They get rid of it, and then you get a buff for the rest of the game against them. So I think it's incentivizing for a bit more trading kind of game, where you have a lot more chaff and a lot more infantry than you normally otherwise would with the Retaliation Cadre. That's kind of what the feeling I'm getting from this is. There's a lot of good damage potential, lethal hits, and it is pretty much where it all comes from. After that, the ability to get assaults to make everything more mobile in the first couple turns, also very good. This is going to change up how we play the game because Kayun made us just sit back on the back line and just pray that we have enough firepower come the final turns to be able to shove our opponents off the objective. We're going to be able to be more aggressive. We're going to push back Orc Waz. They're not going to want to calm early and come out to play real quick. World Eaters aren't going to want to just shove into the center of the board because they're going to have lethal hits all up in them, and it's just not going to be fun. People, big melee armies, are going to want to stay back and not touch us so much, and be a bit wary of the first couple turns, which will play in our advantage. Play in our favor, we'll be able to move up on the center objectives and do well. This is totally going to be chosen over Kayun, pretty much for all of those reasons I just gave. But anyways, let us continue. So from here we have probably the best detachment, the detachment that will be brought more often than not, the Retaliation Cadre. This thing is going to probably be one of the higher end competitive detachments that people will be taking. So what does it do? We covered this one already. It's going to be 12 inches, you get +1 strength to your guns, all battle suits only. This whole entire thing, whenever I say anything and how great it's going to be, only battle suits. Keep that in mind, everybody. It's only for battle suits. If you're infantry, if you're not a battle suit, you lose out. What can I say? It's not going to be your kind of thing. Within 6 inches, you get a +1 to your AP, and this is perfect. This is the AP. We've missed AP. We've needed armor penetration up because we have a lot of good shots that can wound people, but the amount of AP has been lacking. The Flamers needed this extra bump. The burst cannons needed this extra bump. Heck, even the missile pods And I guess now the plasma rifles are back up to 18 minus 4 when you're close enough, too. So, all good things. It's all about getting close, high risk, high reward. It's going to be great. So, from here, the enhancements that it gives, like the warlord trait things, once again, battle suits only. The Puretide Engram Neurochip. Once a turn, the bearer's unit can be targeted with a strat already used this phase by another unit. I don't believe that it's for free. I think you probably have to spend it. It seems nice, I'm sure there's stratagems that you'd be willing to use again, maybe rerolls or whatever the stratagems that we get down to, a little lower. The Starflare Ignition System, if not in engagement range of enemies, they can go into strategic reserve. This is going to be great. Commanders leading crisis suit units. You have a unit that is in your back line with missile pods, and they're like blowing away guys that are coming up close and in the midfield, and your opponent has moved off their home objective with something that has sticky objectives. You're like, oh shoot, I've got like capture enemy outpost next turn. What am I going to do? Oh yeah, these guys are going to zip off into the ether and drop down back in my opponent's back lines, get me engaged on all fronts, capture enemy outpost, behind enemy lines, all the things. Utility is perfect. Not to mention just like, remember the Cold Star ability from 9th edition, the 9th edition Codex, or something like that? But you can do this with your whole unit. Beautiful. Perfect. This will be great. Internal grenade racks for the next enhancement. It gives the unit the grenades keyword, so you can huck grenades, I guess. After moving, select a unit. It moved over and rolled 6 dice, and for every 4 plus, the enemy unit suffers a mortal wound. Not too shabby. I can see that coming out pretty handy. It seems fairly situational. You can run over them and drop a bunch of mortal wounds on them. You can huck a grenade at them and drop even more mortal wounds on them. Mortal wounds for everybody. It's great all around. Well, if you want some bit more mortal wound pump out potential, again, something that's tougher that you don't think your guns will be able to whittle through too easily. Anyways, after that, there's the prototype weapon system. Each time the bearer shoots, select either lethal hits or sustained hits. Pretty good. Pretty much gives you the choice of, do you want to be Mont'ka this turn or do you want to be Cayenne this turn? Very nice. I see it being fairly versatile. I could definitely see you putting it on a commander. You could even lone commander it with 4 cyclic ion blasters, and you'd be like, all right, do I want more, or do I need like this high AP and decent damage to just go straight through my opponent, and not have to worry about wounding? Something like that. I think it'd be fairly useful. Anyways, after that, we got the stratagems, and this is where it all really starts coming together all right. We got the failsafe detonator for 2 CP. You can choose to auto-explode or not. Pretty handy if you don't want something blowing up your back lines and wrecking havoc. If you got a Riptide and you don't want to have to deal with that deadly D6, or you do, it just died to something and you want to finish off and mortal all the things around you, it's perfect. Perfect. If there is no deadly demise roll for each model within the unit, this is for your crisis suits, obviously. On a 4 plus, enemy units within 6 suffer D3 mortal wounds. So this is for each one of the units in the area. Anyways, it's okay. I think it'd be good for like saving Riptide explosions that you don't want to have, or initiating Riptide explosions that you do want to have. After that, we got stim injectors for 1 CP, 6 plus feel no pain. We've all been here. We know what it is. It's useful. I don't know how much I'd be investing into it because a 6 plus feel no pain doesn't always pan out. But if you got high damage things going into your crisis suits and you want some anti-tank buffer against, I think it'd be a good spend. The shortened blade. This one is obviously one of the best ones. You can deep strike within 3 inches, but you cannot charge. So as much as we'd love to drop Commander Farsight down nice, close, and personal to really get up to grips with the enemy and get him close, no, he's just going to sit there and he's going to stand there. He's going to help the unit that he's with decimate whatever they point at because of the +1 to wound, but they won't be charging, at least not this turn. Hopefully they'll kill everything and won't have to deal with that, charging them instead. Definitely good for getting on. Meltas, or fusions, I should say, into close anti-tank range. They get the +1 strength, making them strength 10. They get the +1 AP, making them AP 5. And they're within Melta range, so you got 6 shots, like with D6 +2 damage, strength 10, +1 to wound from Farsight. If you're feeling so inclined, you're going to be wounding most vehicles on 3s and 4s. It's going to be great. And heck, if there's any T9 vehicles out there, you'll be wounding them on 2s, which is just nutty. Besides the point, really cool. After this, we got the Torch Star Gambit. It's jump, shoot, jump. This unit can fly and make a normal move, but not charge after it's shot. The Torch Star Gambit, pretty dang good. It got taken away from Cayenne. They'll never be able to jump, shoot, jump again. It's ours now. It's ours. Besides the point. After this, we've got the grab inhibitor field, which I think is actually pretty good. I'm surprised. I figured like an EMP grenade would maybe go to like a detachment with more like infantry focused things because it forces your opponent to take a battle shock, and then for every model in the unit, you roll a d6, and on a 6, they take a mortal wound. Seems a pretty nice prevention from getting them into melee, and even if they do get into melee with your suits, they could have no OC, so if you're standing on an objective, they don't get it either. Pretty dang good. I do have to say that for this detachment, my overall thoughts are there's no reason to take anything but battle suits in this detachment. The only two things I could see people taking other than battle suits in this detachment are Pathfinders, because they're good at doing the double guiding, and we need more guiding to make all the suits more effective. And after that, I'd say Crew, because they can give you a sticky objective and give you a nice bit of a screen before people get into grips with your battle suits. So overall, it's going to be pretty dang good. And crisis suits are absolutely going to pop off from this. They will pretty much kill anything that they get into close range with. They got the extra bump in AP, which is helping their flamers out and they're helping their missile pods out and the fusions out. It's really making each one of them become lethal at their specific job with their own different things that they have going on. After that, I would say the long range suits will probably not be used so much in this because they won't be as effective. They'd be more effective in Mont'ka. Broadsides are more effective in Mont'ka, and same are Storm Surges. The guys that are going to sit back, they aren't going to be up close and personal. They're not going to be deep striking up close and personal. They're just going to want to hold back away from people. So I don't see any real reason to be bringing them because they just won't benefit like they would in another detachment. Not to mention they don't have the fly keyword, and you need that for some of the strats. So I'd say they're good. They're good units. They're going to be more effective in Mont'ka than they will be in the Battlesuit detachment. After that, like, it's obvious pure Crisis Suit builds are going to be viable. I'm going to be pushing this so hard. Once I get a game in, I'll probably get one in around Easter, and then I'll post it. It's going to be like, look, guys, pure Crisis Suits are back, baby. We are so back and better than ever. It's going to be beautiful. You have no idea. The Retaliation Cadre is bringing back my passion for the pure Crisis Suits. I do have an idea for pure Infantry, though. You all will be able to hear and see the beauty that will be the pure infantry. I'll cook something up, a video for you in the near future and tell you all about it. I'm hyped. It's going to be great. Anyways, besides the point, we're talking about battle suits right now. Farsight is going to love this, probably more than the Mont'ka detachment, because it's going to make his boys more lethal up close and personal. Whoever he's deep striking with, they can just get that much closer and up that lethality that much more. It's going to be all about the high risk, high reward attacks and trades, and it's going to be great. It's going to be very daring. It's going to take a commander that has a thrill for the theatrical and just the lore aspect, the fun of it all. It's going to be awesome. You're going to be destroying whatever you get up close and personal to. If you don't kill it hard enough, your battle system can get destroyed in return. It's going to be very lethal gameplay. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. If you watch any of the games about it, that's exactly how it goes. Highly recommend any of the Tau battle reports that have come out. It gives you a really good idea as far as how good the Retaliation Cadre is and how much fun it is to play it. After that, I would have to say the two battle suits that are little going to be known to be amazing in this, because everyone's going to be focused on the crisis suits for a while, is going to be the Ghost Heal and the Riptide. The Ghost Heal with Lone Op is going to love it because you need to be close and personal in order for it to kill it, but it's going to kill you when you're up close and personal because it becomes that much more lethal. Like the fusion that it has, it hits strength 13. I don't know anything in the game that's strength 13. Maybe it's just because I'm not really too privy with all the other enemies in the game, but strength 13, you're going to be wounding just about everything on 3s. I only really know of like strength 12 knights, I'm pretty sure. Everything's getting wounded on 3s. That's amazing. And then the AP on it gets up to 5, AP minus 5. Same as the other fusions. It's impressive, very good. You're going to be punching a lot of pain into people. After that, the standard strength for the Cyclic Iron Raker is going to be the exact same as like your typical Cyclic Iron Blaster. It's going to be strength 8, AP 2, damage 2. That's the overcharged version of the other ones. Awesome. It's going to be great Marine Killer. And then if you want to overcharge, you got strength 9. That's like an AP minus 3, like D3 damage. Like that's like a mini fusion gun. And it's going to be a heavy elite killer. Like whatever you choose for this guy, you get up close and personal, you're going to be paying with pain. After that, the Riptide's back. It is so back. It's actually going to be viable once again because its big gun is pretty much you're just going to be firing old school missile pods. Strength 7, AP minus 2, 2 damage. Like this is going to ice anything with 2 wounds. Absolute perfect Marine killer. It's what it should have been all along, bumping strength, bumping AP, damage obviously going to stay the same. But we need AP2 for this guy. Just launching out missile pods left and right pretty much. After that, you've got the ion gun, and on its high end, it's going to be strength 9, AP4, damage 4. This is going to ice and kill anything. This has true anti-tank potential. It's going to be beautiful. It's great. It's great. It's perfect. The Riptides are back. It's going to be amazing. Anyways, so those are the two different detachments that just came out. Let me know what you think down in the comments section below. Feel free to like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Let me know what you're excited to do, how you're planning on using them. If you think I just glossed over some of the enhancements a little too hastily, or if I glossed over some of the stratagems a little too hastily, if you think that you could use certain things better than I've articulated, let me know down in the comments below. And we're going to be doing a live stream tomorrow. It's going to be epic. It's going to be great. Or maybe today, depending on whenever this video gets released. So yeah, it's going to be fun. Please tune in. We're just going to cover the entire Codex, and whoever shows up, you can dictate the pace of what we really talk about. I'm just excited to finally live stream and show everybody my enthusiasm in live action, I suppose, for the Tau Codex, and just chat. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun. Anyways, I'd like to thank my patrons, the new Vivek, Samger, Ryan Hall, David Palilio, K-Mag, Jonathan Patino, Chris F., Mark, Magnus Therodi, and created by Philip. All of you, thank you very much for supporting. You guys are the lifeblood of the channel. You keep the lights on out here, and we'll be pumping out more content for you guys. So if you guys want to support on Patreon, feel free. We also got monetized, so if you want, you can help on YouTube. But this is all just for fun for everybody. It really helps. We could upgrade maybe the audio quality or something like that, or get more videos out, and you get better say on what's happening. And I know, I'm sorry. Chris F., I apologize. I will be getting that how to deploy video out as soon as possible. I promise you. I'm sorry it's been taking so long. But it will come out within the next week. Yeah, my word. Otherwise, I'll refund you. Anyways, I digress. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope your day goes for the greater good.